All right, man, we gotta hit this in one take, man. One take Jake, let's get it. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rodonis. Welcome back to yet another video on the channel. Yes, I know it's only my second video, but I feel like I've been here for a while, so let's get into it. Today, the topic is gonna be what's in my camera bag, specifically for when I do events. When I do events, I have to be light, I have to be efficient, I have to be quick, and I have to be effective. So I want to show you what I have in my bag, and hopefully you have some of these things in your bag. If not, I definitely recommend incorporating some of these things into your bag when you start doing event photography, as well as when you're quickly on the go and you need to make sure that you have everything you need quick, fast, and in a hurry. So go ahead and get into it. All right, so first, we got the bag itself. We got a Brevet travel camera bag. I'll cut this in B-roll in a second. It's gonna look real nice and cinematic. Basically, I like this bag because it does several different things. It helps me be quick, helps me be efficient, helps me do everything that I need to do for an event at any given time. Has a nice little luxury loot case. It has a nice little suitcase flap that I can put on when I'm on the go when I have my carry-on bag, so that way I don't have to carry it on my back. Since it's me, I always carry it on my back, but it's a great feature to have. We have our easily accessible side pocket over here, so most people do this the correct way and put their camera into the side and quickly grab it out. I do not. I quickly put my flash in because I like to grab that from the side in case there's any wet or chemicals that are near my bag or exposed for whatever reason. It's not at the bottom of my bag where I can easily access it or it can easily get wet. It has two inside flaps. It has one big flap inside that has removable material where you can separate it and create your own little mini pockets. I create a couple individual pockets where I have my own little je ne sais quoi of how I like to do my events, but we'll go through that in a little bit. That's the front pocket. The small inside pocket we have here is generally just for other accessories, micro things that I need, and things I can quickly grab on the go. Last pocket on the very back is just a very long pocket that you have that goes down to the very bottom of the bag itself. Use this obviously for a laptop or anything else in between, but generally I use it for my laptop or I'll use it for an external monitor, external portable monitor, in case I'm on the go and I need to have something quickly to connect to one of my devices. And lastly is the main camera flap itself, or whatever you choose to use the top pocket for, flash, gum, chargers, who knows. It has a little inside pocket too, which I recently found after 6 months of having this bag, where you can put little individual accessories so that way you can quickly access it. Thinking I might use this for SD cards when I start traveling a little bit more. We have yet to make that final decision. So that's the first thing with the bag. So bag itself, great bag. If I had to rate it, give it about a 9 out of 10. I love it, great bag. The only thing about this bag I do not like is that it's not weatherproof. So when I went to Cancun, I was on a speedboat and we had to ride 3 miles across the ocean to get over to our destination for this day party. And the water was splashing, getting all up on me, wetting all my stuff up. So it wasn't ideal for that type of situation, as well as when it does rain, because if you're in the DMV, you know that the weather can be 95 degrees in one day, 22 the next day, sunny one day, and tsunami the next day. So get yourself an all weatherproof bag if this is not going to be everything that you need, but if that's not a determining factor for you, definitely get this bag. All right, let's move on to my main thing. People always ask me, what camera do I use? So I like to tell them that I use a camera that works for me. Everybody shouldn't be trying to use the same camera. Everybody doesn't need the same type of camera. And actually I don't have my camera, so we're gonna use a camera. This will be my camera for today. We'll skip to some nice B-roll and let's make this a little cinematic too, but a camera. Imagine this is my camera. So I use a Sony a7 III. So Sony a7 III came out about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's a little dated in terms of technology, in terms of camera. In terms of the newest cameras that are out currently, but still gets the job done. 24 megapixels, high resolution pictures, high resolution video. I'm recording right now in 40K, 24 frames per second, super smooth, buttery, crisp video quality. So everything I need. If I need to go down to 60 frames per second, which basically you would use if you're trying to do slow motion, I'll run it down to 1080. Most platforms that I'm sending stuff out to, people are only using on social media, which most of the time is only using 1080, so those new features really aren't a benefactor for me, as well as just various different things. It has really good in-body image stabilization. So if you start getting a little jittery or shaking and whatnot, the camera does a good job of compensating that because of the gyroscope inside of the camera, as well as some of the lenses that I use have in-body image stabilization, which allows me to do the exact same thing, along with using my camera strap. So by combination of all three of those things, I'm able to achieve very good stability whenever I'm out in an event, whether if I'm leaning over like this or went over an edge or just laying over the water for whatever reason, which I've been known to do a couple times. So, all right, cool. So we got the camera out the way. What are we gonna go through next? So the camera lens that I use the most is my Tamron 28-75, 2.8 aperture. I really like this lens because it gives me a very diverse set of focal lengths that I can use on any given event. So I can stop really down. I can stop down very low to 2.8 to get a very wide aperture and get myself a really nice bokeh, which is a nice blurriness in the background. And also I can get a very, very wide aspect of everything that's going on around my subject. I can get I like the compression that it has in the 28 because it makes everything look a little bit more distorted, where things look closer that are closer to the camera and things that are further away further from the camera. It has a nice little effect when it's done correctly. You can use this for portraits. Wouldn't recommend for close-up portraits because you're gonna look too distorted, but far away portraits, let's say like on a farm or a nice background or something like that. Or if I want to do like really cinematic or really like touching like close-up portraits, I'll go all the way down to 75 or bring out my other lens at that point where I can use a portrait lens to get that very smooth, very crisp, buttery bokeh by stopping down even further to 1.8 and getting that and losing some of that compression you get from a wider lens and making it look more flattering for the profile for each of your subjects when I do portrait lenses. So for portrait lenses, this is one of the lenses I bring with me. I typically only bring 2 lenses on set with me or to a job, that 28-75 that I mentioned, the Tamron, and this Sony 1.8 85mm lens, because this is more so built to be a portrait lens. The limitation with this lens is that it's a prime lens, so it has one fixed focal, like 85. So if I want to change my distance, I have to physically move forward or backwards. So like with this particular video right here, something like this, I wouldn't use an 85 because I have to go way back just to get myself in frame, and it really wouldn't do me any justice for this video. As well as for any events. I like to be able to quickly change my aspect ratio to fit what I'm looking for in the image. But be mindful that you don't want to just use every aspect ratio for every single image because that's not going to fit what you're looking for. This is one thing I just picked up recently, the Rode Video Mic Pro. So I got a couple wireless mics so that way I can be able to transmit my audio to my camera and get a better quality of audio. The preamps inside of a camera are pretty trash, so you get that very high acoustic-y effect. It's very distorted, grainy, loud, and you hear that white noise in the background. And it just feels very jarring. Like it doesn't make you want to sit and watch the image. So do yourself a favor, get yourself a starter audio set, whether it be a lavalier mic, whether it be a wireless Rode mic, or even a Tascam. The Tascam, I think DR10 is generally like the go-to standard for audio equipment. It's on-pocket recorder where you can put in a lavalier mic and save the audio directly onto the device and match it up later in post. So that would be a very good option to make sure that you don't have just generic scratch audio that's just gonna sound gaudy and make people just not want to listen to whatever you have going on in your video. So let's go inside the camera bag. Start running through this a little bit more quickly here. So I have here my Honski. I have my Honski SD card readers. I really like this because it enables me to have 8 memory cards at one time. So if I'm traveling or on the go, or if I'm doing a really big job, I have multiple memory cards at my disposal, and it has a hard shell case. You need one of these. Memory cards are fragile and they're expensive, so you definitely want to make sure you have yourself a hard shell case. You can drop these, you can step on these, you can elbow these, all of the above, and all your memory cards stay flush and safe inside of here. Memory cards itself, like if I start like shaking it, like it's not going to come out of the pack. Like it's secured flushly in here, and it has like a finger hole that you use inside the grooves to be able to pull your SD cards out at will and push them back in. This was game changing for me. Before I used to just hold one memory card or just have one just floating in my bag or just throw one in my wallet, but then I realized that that wasn't the most optimal place for me to put these things. And if I'm on the go, if I'm running around and doing something, I don't need it to slip and fall out of my pocket. I don't need to sit and crush it by mistake. And I also need to just have something to say that, hey, if I need someone to find a memory card for me real quick, or I need someone to go to my place and grab something, like I can easily tell them, hey, black case called Honski, because a Honski, who's not gonna not hear this name, Honski, right? So get yourself one of those. See what else we have in here. I can't get all my secrets out now. This is the big daddy right here. Don't do that. So Inside here, I have my Godox flash. Whenever you go into an event, you need to always carry yourself a off-camera flash. If you have an on-camera flash, great. Don't use it. Get an off-camera flash. If you have an off-camera flash, great. Use it. On-camera flash, don't use it. Off-camera flash, do use it. You don't want to use an on-camera flash because you can't always regulate the power that's coming out of the flash. The flash itself inside the camera is generally very small and very just overpowered, and to make your picture look very washed out. You can't control the direction of it, you can't control the speed of it, you can't control different things such as like a modeling lamp, if it uses high-speed sync and various things and whatnot. So I have this Godox V1S. The V1S is specifically for Sony, so if you have a Canon, I think I have a V1C, Nikon V1N, the Thanos V1T, I don't know. It has a really nice modeling light. A lot of flashes don't have modeling lights. This has a modeling light that has a different level of intensity from 1 to 10, so I can change the strength of this light at any given time. This is very helpful, especially doing like night events or club events. Sometimes people spill stuff. Sometimes people spill stuff around me. I need to make sure it's not spilling on me. I can quickly show like, hey, something's happening. I can flash people to get myself, to tell people to move out of the way if they're in my way, like, which I don't really do often, but like if people are just sitting here elbow to elbow in the middle of the walkway, like sometimes I gotta like, hey, I need you to move, bro. Please, with the power of the light, move out of the way. Yeah, that's generally my flash. Like I love it. I always have it charged before I go into an event. Moving back to the other pocket, along with this flash, I have my backup battery for the flash. Because there's nothing worse than having a flash at the event and it dies. So what do? You get a second battery, so that way when it dies, you're coming right back to life. This thing is a lifesaver. Only bad thing about getting rechargeable and backup lithium ion batteries is that they're expensive. So the Godox ones are always $50. They're never on sale. Like I wish they would go on sale at some point, but I have 2 of these as backups. I always bring one with me on every event that I go to. If I'm going to a really big event or a gala or a private mixer where I'm doing like 2 different types of coverage, like say photography and videography, I'll bring both backups just because I know I'll be shooting for a while, but always get yourself a flash and always get yourself a backup. Let's see, talking about video really quickly, let's go to video. So I also have a video light. So I have my Aperture MC. I really love this light because it's very small and compact. As you can see, it fits inside of my hand, it fits inside of one little small package in my bag, and it's very bright. If I need to be able to use something really quickly to light someone's face, if they're way too dark, I'll use this. Otherwise, I won't, because it just makes a lot of people look washed out in the image because of the smaller source of light is so hard and powerful that it's just very unflattering on the face sometimes. It's a very great compact light. I love it for my events, and I take it with me everywhere I go, even if I don't use it, just because I never know if I do need to use it. Let's see, what else do we have here? So I have my, I don't even know what the name of this is. This is the JJBYABCDEFG, whatever it is. It's this thing right here, this battery pack. So the reason I got this is because I was at an event one time and my battery just crapped out on me. I don't know what happened, but it just messed up. And I just had to wait for about 20 or so minutes for it to reestablish itself. Luckily, I'd already gotten like all the pictures I wanted and I did everything I needed to do, so it really wasn't a big deal, but it made me think of what if this happens in an event, say a wedding day. I can't have this freeze right before the kiss comes, because Ryan's not gonna be like, oh, okay, you can just sit down for 20 minutes till your camera pack is back on and I'll do a kiss again. Like, it doesn't work like that. So get yourself one of these. This was relatively inexpensive. The one I got is really nice because it comes with 2 battery cells and it has the same amount of power as the original battery cells that comes with the Sony camera. So you can still get about 610, 710 shots. And it has a nice little SD card pouch inside here. So if you wanted to, you could put your SD cards at the bottom over here. Granted, I can't open this properly because my fingers are too big. That's one drawback. If you have really big fingers, it's going to be an issue. But that's why you get the SD card reader that I showed you earlier. So that way you don't have to worry about having big fingers. So yeah, get one of those. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have myself a Lightning to SD card reader. I have one of these because the Sony proprietary app, the Imaging Edge, it's great, but it's not great. It's very slow, it's very responsive, it's very slow. So I need to be able to work efficiently and fast. So if there comes a chance where I have to edit on set or at an event, which I generally don't like to do, But if I have to, I can quickly plug this in, plug my SD card reader in, and this loads all the pictures in like seconds, as opposed to the imaging ed. It brings in a lower quality file and it brings in very slow. Like all of my high resolution uncompressed files that I have, loading this in like a minute. I can upload like 300 pictures to my camera, like to my phone's camera database within like a minute, and then go into Lightroom Mobile and just edit stuff and do stuff very quickly if I need to. Definitely recommend having one of these if you're doing a lot of event photography and you have to be able to have the ability to edit on set. These do get rather expensive. This is also about $50-ish, I think. So this would probably be something a little bit more down the line, once you're a little more established, that you get something like this, but it's definitely worth the investment. Get yourself a nice camera bag that's reliable, that's able to easily access all of your items. Get yourself a nice camera where you can get yourself going, you can get yourself established, learn from it, and still have something good enough to that way you don't have to upgrade right away, but not feel like you spent way too much money and you're not progressing fast enough. Get yourself a few lenses, say 2 or 3 lenses. I say if you get about 2 zoom lenses, 1 prime lens, you're good for now. You don't have to get the most expensive quality lens. Like you don't have to go for, let's see, what's the one I'm thinking about? This is a Tamron, so you don't need to get a Sigma lens. If you have a Sony, you don't need to get a G Master lens to start off. Those lenses are very great. You know, the compression on them is really nice. The bulk of them is really nice. The build quality is very nice. But if you don't know what all of those things are, I lost my train of thought. But essentially, the $400 lens versus $1,300, if you don't know what either of them are and you're just getting them, get yourself the $400 lens, learn how to use that lens, learn what the in and outs of it are, learn what the limitations of it are, so that way when you buy a $1,300 lens, you can qualify that purchase and say, okay, because I understand how lenses work, I understand the differences between these 2 lenses, I can now justify and say I spent $900 more to get this lens because of X, Y, and Z. Like I'm able to do this with all the lenses I have because of the fact that I've taken the time and used crappy lenses. I've gone my first 6 months journey with the camera by just using a stock lens. Like I bought a higher quality lens from the get-go, but I used the stock lens to see what my limitations are and how far I can get with it. Once I can see, okay, I don't like how the bokeh looks on this, or okay, I need something a little bit sturdier, I need something that's a little bit faster, quieter. That's when I was like, okay, I'll get this Sigma 28 to 75. I'll get this Portrait 1.8 lens. I'll get my G Master 35 lens, you know? But until then, you don't really need to focus on those things. So, hope you guys had a great time here. You know, like I said, it's my second video, so appreciate you guys tapping back in with me. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and press the bell for the notifications. Like I'm here for you, you're here for me. Let's just be here for each other, you know? So go ahead, tap in with me, follow me on social media. I have all that linked below. Probably put a nice little animation in here as well, so that way we can have a nice little vibe with the little like, comment, and subscribe. I'll probably put it like right here since this is where I'm pointing. So make sure you guys tap back in and let me know in the comments what other kind of videos you'd like to see. It'd be fun to do someone's idea of a video if they have something interesting that I haven't thought of. So let me know. I'm about to tap out because I have some pictures I got to edit, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right, peace.